Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, all companies once valued at $1 trillion. What does Tesla have in common with these companies? How about iconic and boundary-pushing founders/CEOs? Or products that focus on what the consumer needs? And most importantly, a lightning-fast pace of innovation. A $1 trillion valuation for Tesla would mean a share price of approximately $6,000. But how can they grow to the size of these big boys? In order for Tesla to be able to compete with these giants, they'll have to increase their cash flow by about 30 times and their revenues by about 10 times. How can they do this? Tesla sold about 350,000 vehicles last year. To put this in perspective, Toyota sold about 8.6 million, and worldwide, about 77 million were sold. So simple, right? Sell 3.5 million vehicles and your revenues will be there to be a $1 trillion company. Not quite. Vehicle sales alone are not profitable enough to create this type of cash flow. But what if I told you vehicle sales aren't the moneymaker? When Tesla finally achieves full self-driving, the entire fleet of vehicles will be able to participate in the robotaxi network, as every Tesla being produced today has the necessary hardware. This lets Tesla owners have their cars make money for them and Tesla at all hours of the day. The average Uber costs $2 to $3 per mile. The price per mile is less than 18 cents using today's Teslas. This allows Tesla to massively undercut Uber and remain very profitable. Based on the previous screen's assumptions, it would only take a fleet of 7 million consumer-owned robotaxis to achieve $63 billion of profits for Tesla. And it would only take 2 million Tesla-owned robotaxis to achieve about $60 billion of profits every year. The thought of self-driving cars might be scary, but understanding how neural networks function can greatly decrease the fear. Each Tesla artificial intelligence chip is like a brain for every vehicle. With every mile driven, every car is collecting data on new situations that in turn trains the software that is used on every vehicle. Tesla's current fleet has surpassed 1 million, but how can they get more vehicles on the road to collect more data?
It's financially insane to buy anything other than a Tesla. It would be like owning a horse in 3 years. I mean, fine if you want to own a horse, but you should go into it with that expectation.
He's not wrong. Horses and engines both require expensive fuel and a user controlling its path. Cars might no longer be depreciating assets, but cash-flowing investments. You're probably wondering, will these robotaxis actually happen? And if so, when? Elon thinks the first robotaxis will be legal somewhere in the world within the year.
We're going to do the robotaxi thing too. Only criticism, and it's a fair one, and sometimes I'm not on time.
So if this is such a great business model, what about the competition? Waymo, Google's self-driving project, has gathered about 20 million miles of data with a fleet of about 600 vehicles. Uber's self-driving project supposedly has millions of miles of data with a fleet of 250 vehicles. Tesla has about 2 billion miles of data with a fleet of over 1 million vehicles that's only growing. As these companies are using cars with engines in them, they'll never be able to compete on price. Current Teslas tend to last between 300 and 500,000 miles, while cars with engines tend to only last between 150 and 300,000 miles, requiring much more maintenance. Alright, so forget the competition. How can self-driving cars actually be safer? A computer cannot drink and drive. It will not fall asleep behind the wheel. It won't text and drive, and it certainly won't assault you. To add to this safety, Tesla uses 2 separate self-driving chips in case one were to fail.
The general principle here is that any part of this could fail, and the car will keep driving. So you could have cameras fail, you could have power circuits fail, you could have one of the Tesla full self-driving computer chips fail, car keeps driving. The probability of this computer failing is substantially lower than somebody losing consciousness. That's the key metric, at least in order of magnitude.
There's an automobile accident every 436,000 miles in the US. Teslas with autopilot only crash every 2.9 million miles. This is 6 times better, and this isn't even full self-driving. Add that to the fact that Teslas are the safest vehicles ever tested by NHTSA, and you've got a winning combination. The writing's on the wall. Are you buying into the stock of the century? If you enjoyed the content, think about subscribing or watching some of my other videos. Thanks for watching.